Do you remember the announcement of No Man's Sky? It was like the biggest thing ever. Everything was looking surreal. A game with infinite planets to discover and each planet has its own ecosystem? Hell fucking yes, sign me up. That would have been so cool, right? Yeah, it didn't work out as you think. No Man's Sky released in 2016 and became one of the worst video game of all time. All the PR and advertisement for this game was a lie and the game looked nothing like what we saw in the trailers. But right now it's 2023, 7 years has passed since the release of the game, and I can say with all in my heart, No Man's Sky is a wonderful game to play. But how a crappy game managed to become a decent video game in 2023? Buckle up fellas, because I've got a tale to tell. But before I go on, don't forget to subscribe. Back in August 2016, there were waves of hate on this game. It scored poorly, but that wasn't the main problem. Every user who bought the game wanted a refund because they all agreed that No Man's Sky wasn't the game that Hello Games Studio promised. It was far from what we had in mind and they showed in the trailers. Sean Murray, the head of Hello Games, got all the hate and called a liar in social medias. It was all just a big mess. But that's how the adventure of Hello Games started. That's right, this one is a comeback story. It's so easy to give up on a broken video game. Many studios have done it before. You can think of The Walking Dead of the video game industry. Even Blizzard, that made so many great video games, decided to move on from Overwatch and make a second one and change the mistakes of the first one. And we're talking about Overwatch, which had a very better condition than No Man's Sky when it released. But Hello Games went the other way around and pulled off something that nobody thought they could. They started to work on the flaws of the game and try to fix it all. The most amazing part is that they didn't make a fuss about it. They did it in the most quiet but effective way. The game was a big mess. They delivered like 5% of what they promised and they had to provide the other 95%. The first thing they improved was the base building. At first there weren't very much elements to it, but they decided to bring more items to the table and now it feels wonderful to build base in the game. But I think the most important thing that they provide in their redemption journey was a good story for the game. No Man's Sky at the start didn't have any good and engaging story. You just had to go around the world of the game, which wasn't really an interesting world, and do some things. That's it. But with the updates and new downloadable contents, stories and main quests improved and got better. Space combat improved too. And that's a big deal for the game because it was one of the things that players really wanted to explore and experience since the beginning. Customizing your own spaceship, upgrading your arsenal, and everything felt better with major updates that Hello Games brought. With the improvement of the combat system, now it was the time for them to improve multiplayer mod, which seriously, to this day is one of the most interesting and entertaining things I've played. They even made a live service for the No Man's Sky, which brings seasons, unique missions, and very intriguing reward. That's really a sight to behold for a game that was a total piece of shit. Hello Games didn't stop there and they released some more DLCs and made the game better than what they promised back in 2016. So if you buy No Man's Sky right now and start to play the game, what would you get? At the beginning, the game let you choose between single player and multiplayer modes, which I recommend to explore the game in single player first to get a grip on how is the gameplay. The single player mode have its own sub modes like normal, survival, permadeath, creative, and community expedition. First four modes are pretty clear that what they actually are, but community expedition is where the game really shines. This one is a time limited mode that creators of the game make a new world for every player to hop on to do some missions with their unique loadout, and you can compete with other players to achieve the goal of this mission. Some of you can do it and some of you won't. Although you may get confused, but believe me, it's one of the best things about the new No Man's Sky. The UI is improved. You may think little of the UI system, but best believe it's very effective to the better experience. Game constantly gives you hint to what to do next to keep the fun going in this large world. Before this, you just get confused like, okay, what now? But the new UI system moved this problem out of the way. Every and each planet now has their own ecosystem. Some planets may seem like the other one, but it's very rare and natural in this point. Graphics looks great in the game, sound design is perfect, and you do pretty much everything you expect from an open world sci-fi game. You can spend hundreds of hours of your time in the game, and best believe that it delivers. All the hype you had before and got disappointment for it, now it's real. You had the hype, but you had to wait some years to finally get it, and you have got it now. It's not late for this game. In 2023, No Man's Sky is still a good video game, and with the price dropping, it's a good deal for you. The game still is one of the top 100 games in Steam for concurrent users, so it's guaranteed for now that developers will continue their good work to keep the title entertaining. And that's what it's all for, right? Playing an entertaining video game, which No Man's Sky right now is one of them. Thanks for sticking up to the end. This has been your boy Polycraze. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later.